Howdy, everybody, and welcome back to KUAM News Extra. The Guam Youth Congress is elected to serve our island's youth, and joining me in studio now to talk about this organization and some of the things they have coming up is Senator Regine Biscoe-Lee, and she chairs has oversight over Guam Youth Congress. Also with us is Javen Santos. He is the Speaker of the Guam Youth Congress, and he's also a sophomore at the University of Guam. And also with us is Christian Valencia. He's the Chairman of the Committee on Rules for the Guam Youth Congress and a freshman at the University of Guam. Thank you guys for joining us.
Thank you very much.
I understand that you guys have a special election coming up. Let's just get that out of the way. So how many seats are you guys needing to fill?
Well, the way that the special election works is that we refill seats that had already been filled in the general election. So, you know, when students graduate from their various schools or they leave off island, those seats become vacant. So we're filling 7 seats from the villages of Tamuning-Tumon Harmon and Dedido, as well as the schools of the University of Guam, JFK, Academy, Father Duenas, and Harvest.
How old do you have to be? What grade do you have to be to run? What are some of the qualifications?
Well, some of the qualifications, you have to be 14 years old and or under the age of 25. So I guess that's 24.
Oh, okay. And so, for people who aren't familiar with the Guam Youth Congress, tell us about what you guys do.
Well, the Guam Youth Congress is an elected body of youth, so we run for election, and we're basically the senators of the youth. So our job is to listen to the youth and come up with bills and resolutions like the senators do to try to fix the problems with the youth and be that communication with the senators of Guam to give them the ideas that the youth feel should be pursued by our government.
And so, Christian, tell me about some of the bills that you've introduced.
There's this one bill that I introduced a few months ago. It was a bill to include youth members in the municipal planning councils because I thought it was important for the youth to be active in the small pockets in the villages and the issues that actually affect their daily lives.
So what happened with your bill?
It passed the Youth Congress, and we're going to recommend it to the legislature soon, and that's what we're going to do. Yeah.
One of the things that I'm proud of that I introduced, it's actually a resolution. It was a resolution in regards to the Island-Wide Board of Governing Students, or IBOGs. And what the resolution sought to do is to have, because according to the Guam Code annotated in the law, the Island-Wide Board of Governing Students is supposed to meet with the superintendent every month to discuss the various issues in the public schools. But when I had communicated with IBOGs and they told me that these meetings weren't happening, I took it upon myself and to bring it up to the Youth Congress to show them that this is an issue, and I got to attend a education board meeting and we got to talk through it, and we had gotten IBOGs their regular monthly meetings. And I feel like Youth Congress is all about the voice of the youth. So stuff like the Municipal Planning Council and IBOGs, we're working hand in hand to make sure the youth have a say and stuff like that.
Senator Jean, tell me about the relationship that you have with the Guam Youth Congress as Oversight Chair.
Yeah, so it's a really great opportunity for the members of the Guam Legislature to, like Javen and Christian were saying, just hear from the voice of the youth. One particular example was with the Tobacco 21 bill. It's my understanding that in the 32nd and 33rd Guam legislatures, then Vice Speaker BJ Cruz had some issues with getting enough support behind his measure. After the Guam Youth Congress kind of took that up and said, you know, this is an issue that's going to directly affect us probably the most out of any pocket in the community. So we want to make sure that we put our support behind it. They did. They joined a number of other stakeholders in our community, and the Speaker reintroduced it in the 34th Guam Legislature, and it ended up getting unanimous support. And it was a big part of that was just the voice of the Guam Youth Congress, and them really getting on the radio and letting the community know that they, as youth representatives, really were in favor of a measure like this. So it just helps us to kind of get that pulse of the youth and the voice of the youth into whatever it is that we're discussing.
That seems to be the big issue now that you guys are confronted with, and what do you plan on doing about it?
Just in general?
Yeah, that you guys are going to be focusing on, or do you foresee a bill that you might want to be introducing?
Well,
resolution?
One bill that I've introduced and that I hope that hopefully once it goes through the committee process goes into session this October. It's a bill to ban plastic bags. I don't know if you're aware, a lot of the neighboring Pacific Islands have already worked on plastic bag bans, and I introduced this bill to bring up the issue of the environment of our island and how plastic bags can affect our ecosystem and our corals. So that's something I'm working on, and I hope hopefully the body agrees with me that that's an issue we should take a look at.
Right now I'm working with a few of my colleagues in the Youth Congress, and we're trying to draft a bill for youth mental health first aid training for educators. And I think it's important for someone in the schools to just know what to do when something affects the students in the schools.
Do you guys plan on running for senator?
So there's an age requirement that they don't quite meet. So as soon as as soon as you're done with the Guam Youth Congress, they get booted out at about 24, 25, then you can run for senator. Absolutely. This is a really great kind of breeding ground and training ground for our youth to really get educated on the issues, to know what it's like to be in an environment where they have to strongly defend a lot of their beliefs and the things that they want to put forward. And so it's a really great experience, looks great on a resume. So any parents or Ninos and Ninas out there that can identify a student or a child in their lives who might benefit from a program like this, we really want to encourage them to take a look at the Guam Youth Congress Facebook page or come onto my Facebook page. We have a ton of information about the upcoming election, the upcoming special election, and then also their general election, which will also be held in 2018.
Okay, well, thank you guys for joining us and sharing us information about the Guam Youth Congress. Again, check them out on their Facebook page. We're back with more after this.
Your community calendar is brought to you by Taco Bell. Whether it's your first meal or your fourth meal, we've got you covered. Taco Bell, live Mas.